Hey everyone, my name is Brittany and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be reading volumes 1 through 4 of Fence.
It's Brittany, bitch.
I'm pretty sure there are other installments in the series, I just don't have access to them at the moment, but I was at my library just perusing and I was very attracted to the graphic novel section and ended up picking up these books because I've heard so many things about them over the years and I finally decided to just go for it because they at least had 4 volumes. And the kicker is I'm going to challenge myself to do this in exactly 24 hours. So it's after 4 o'clock and tomorrow I'll be ending this at 4 o'clock. I just feel like that is a fun little challenge for myself, not because I need to get any more books in this month because I read more books this month than I've ever read in any month ever, but I thought it'd be a kind of a good idea since I need to return some stuff to the library in a couple of days anyway, so I might as well just return most of the books I have. And I kind of needed a refresher in between other projects and other graphic novels I'm working on because when you read the same thing over and over and over, you just kind of get a little bit bored, so I wanted to switch to an entirely different series I have not yet picked up this month, so naturally this fit the bill. So in 24 hours, every single one of these shall be read. And if I like them, I will continue on with more of the series installments. I think there's also some just like one-off books about certain characters and certain relationships. So if I'm open to it, it's gonna happen. So listen, I just started volume 1 and I just finished it. So I don't really know how to feel about this yet. I have to say, I feel like this is like a good 4-star. I really enjoy this rivals to lovers things I think is gonna be happening, or at least rivals to friends. I think they're going to eventually become lovers to my knowledge, but in this book, we don't get to see any of that just yet. They can't even stand each other as roommates. We have Nicholas, who is kind of a poor kid from the other side of the tracks, didn't have the training and the technique, and he's trying to make the fencing team at this boarding school to obtain his scholarship to keep going there. And 6 months prior, he was beat in a fencing contest by Seji. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but Seji is this amazing, incredible fencer who has obviously had a lot of training and probably privilege in learning how to train, maybe had a personal trainer, we don't really know at this point, other than he's pretty much unbeatable and he's only a freshman and he is a force to behold. So he beats Nicholas 15-0 and Nicholas is just decimated in this. Nicholas literally joins the boarding school wanting to fight Seji because he thought he was going to be on a different team, but as it turns out, they're basically competing for the same spot on the fencing team at this specific boarding school. We don't know why Seji didn't go to, I think it's called like X-Con or X-Ron or something. He was supposed to go to that school because it's like the best fencing school in the country, but lo and behold, he did not. And actually, these two are now roommates and they fucking hate each other. I really love that. My biggest gripe is that I was expecting more of a resolution from this. I literally just finished this and it ends not even just like on a cliffhanger, but this random dude is gonna try to beat Seji. And I was just expecting like maybe more of like a closing thing, like they did finally do all of their fighting and we find out that Nicholas did make it on or he didn't. Like I kind of wanted more of like a resolution with this. So that's why I'm a little bit frustrated with this so far. I don't know how I feel about that. I've been reading a lot of graphic novels lately and no matter what, there's always like a good ending or something to look forward to. And I guess you could look forward to like how this is going to play out, but like I was expecting more of a story arc in the same book. I feel like this could have been combined with another volume and maybe that would make more sense. Maybe I'm just being too harsh on it, but I feel like I haven't really thought my full thoughts through, but I feel like this is a good like 4-star. I really enjoyed it, but I'm not really into fencing. I'm not really into like sports romances. So the fact that I'm enjoying this says something, but I'm not really sure if it's just like my favorite graphic novel series of all time, even though I do love like friends to lovers, rivals to lovers. Like I love all that kind of shit, especially when it's done well, and I'm liking that tension. I just wish the story ended in a better manner just because I do not like how there's not a complete story arc within this exact volume, if that makes sense. So I have a little bit less than 24 hours to get to the other 3, which I don't think should be a problem. I'm probably going to try to read at least one while I'm making dinner and then at least one tonight after I get out of the shower, and then hopefully I can read one tomorrow on my lunch. These are pretty short and they're pretty sweet. The fact that I just finished that one in like 20 minutes says something, so I don't think this should be a problem at all. Talk to you later. So it is the next day and things happened as I predicted. I did end up finishing volume 2 while I was cooking dinner, and this is again another 4 stars. I feel like this is another good rendition. However, the tournament is still going on in this. I was really expecting the tournament to at least end in the second book since the first volume abruptly ended on one of the matches, and I just think that's a little odd. I just feel like so far they could have been combined into one volume. volume. I did like this one a smidgen more just because we got a little bit more of the sexual tension, but it wasn't even between our main characters. And maybe I'm even wrong. Maybe they're not supposed to have sexual tension. Maybe I'm just crazy because at this point it feels almost too slow burn to like be a romance between Seji and Nicholas, but it looks like Aiden and Harvard are the ones having all the sexual tension, and I am so here for their relationship. So far, I'm still really enjoying the series. I think it's really fun. I didn't realize how into fencing I would be, but I really like the competitive nature of these tournaments, and like I just keep wanting to turn the pages. Like it's a very, very fast read, which is why I think that this was a very easy challenge for me, just because they're so quick to get into. Like this literally takes like 20 minutes. Like I was literally cooking my dinner and I finished this before dinner was done cooking. That says something. And then before I went to bed, I ended up reading volume 3, and finally the fucking tournament ends. The tournament finally ends in this one, and it's nice because we get to see a resolution. I really think that the first 3 volumes should have been combined into one volume. I don't really think it's appropriate to stretch a tournament out to 3 separate volumes because we don't really get a whole lot besides the tournament. We don't get a whole lot of side narratives. Like I really want to see people's backgrounds. I want to see their storylines. Like I want to know how Seji grow up. We're getting nothing about this kid. He's one of the main characters. I know nothing about him. We're getting a little bit of some of the side characters, and I really, really love those interludes, but I want more. Like they're in a boarding school. Aren't they going to go to school? Do they have classes? Do they have parties? Like we only get to see like very small snippets of anything. It's all about the tournaments, which don't get me wrong, are very entertaining, and I'm not bored at all. I surprisingly find them very titillating, and I love them so much, but I really want more about these boys. I want to know what makes them tick. I'm getting sense of their personality, like Bobby is just, like I want to know more about their lives besides fencing. So now I'm going to go ahead and start on the 4th volume. I'm going to go ahead and eat lunch here and then get back to you guys. I have a very large work day. I have a couple of things going on. There's some big ticket items. I have some issues with some clients I need to get ironed out. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get to this and hope to God nobody calls me. At the end of the 3rd volume, the last page is us meeting Jesse, and Jesse's finally on page. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to get worked out in here. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this and get back to you guys. And I also want to let you guys know that I did look into my library. They only have up to volume 5. So they only had up to volume 4 when I was at the library. They only have up to volume 5 at all. So to read all the other installments, which I think there's technically 11 graphic novels, I'm gonna have to get creative eventually, but obviously for the purposes of this video, I'll just be reading the first 4, but it's a little bit disappointing when your library doesn't have all of them, because like I don't really like starting series they don't have, like I can't find the endings to, especially because I'm not like in love with the series. I don't really know if I want to go out and buy them, like because they're all like 4 stars so far. Like I really enjoy them and they're fun, but they're not like anything that I feel like it's like groundbreaking or like I'm obsessed with. I mean, 3 full volumes of one tournament does not an obsession make. So I finished volume number 4, and I actually think that this was probably my least favorite. I don't know if it's because we took such a departure from the earlier pacing. I feel like volumes 1, 2, and 3 were very, very fast paced, but for some reason, this one just felt like the intensity waned. Like it was just, the pacing was really off for me. So I give this one only 3 stars, which feels like mean, but at the same time, I feel like I'm also maybe kind of getting over like the complete slow burn of this. Like I want a little more movement between the characters. I feel like we really haven't gone anywhere with any of them. And it's been 4 volumes, and I think I'm just used to maybe some graphic novels that wrap everything up, at least in one subsequent volume, has its own story. And this just feels like a continuation all the time, and it's kind of confusing. Maybe I'm just salty, I don't know, but I thought we'd get a little bit of a break from tournaments too, and we didn't. We went back into another competition, but now they like fight as like a team and they win like team points. I just don't know if that just itself didn't work for me. I don't know. Moral of the story. I also don't know if it's because these volumes are so fucking short. Like they're so tiny and so easy to get through that I just feel like I'm not really getting out a whole lot of just one volume. Like one volume is such a small part of the story. And that's why I feel like it's dragging on. Like I want more progression. And the sad part is actually in this one, when we finally get like a Seji, Nicholas scene, that's like amazing. Like Seji is trying to like teach Nicholas how to like perfect his form using the tennis ball method. And it's so hot. Like it's literally like one scene, but I am deceased. I love it. It's so good, but like the rest of it's just I feel like after 4 volumes, I'm just expecting something else. I don't know. I think I also just want to see how Aiden and Harper's relationship works out. And I'm just also kind of mad. I feel like every single one of these ends with like something with Aiden. Like every single one of these volumes ends on an Aiden thing. And I'm like, who are we supposed to be focusing on in this fucking graphic novel? Like, is this series not about like Nicholas? I don't know. I feel like Aiden's like literally the main character. I don't know. He's so hot, by the way. So delicious. And I'm so rooting for Aiden Harvard. And I just like want more of that. But I just feel like the tournament in this one that took up such a big part of it, it really annoyed me. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Like, will I read on in the future? Of course, like I really like to, but I obviously can only get up to volume 5 in my library. So I might have to like look at my other library, see if I can read it online or something. I just don't know. I don't know if about the series. I really started off liking it, and I just feel like my interest is waning a little bit, but I also don't know if it's just because nothing really happens in a volume. Like, it's such a short period of time that maybe I don't like these characters as much as I think I do. Maybe I really just don't care. I don't know. But this was a very fast challenge for me. It's a little bit before 4 o'clock actually, and I did this all in 24 hours, and it wasn't really hard. I just wanted to kind of give myself a little bit of a boost because I have to return these to the library tomorrow. Not that they're due or anything, but I might as well just return them when I return other books. So it just kind of worked out that way. And I am just like a little bit salty that I wanted to love this a little bit more than I did. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts below. Let me know if you have any graphic novel suggestions. I'm really interested in graphic novels, but I just don't feel like I hear enough about them sometimes, or I forget about them and don't touch them for like 3 years. But if you have any suggestions, go ahead and listen down below. I may have already read them, but if I have not, I will definitely add them to my TBR just to kind of give them a shot, because they're a really fun genre for me that I just don't really think about that often. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you guys all very soon. Have a lovely day.